Call of Duty Zombies. Everybody knows it. You probably grew up playing it with your sibling, although maybe you actually didn't play because he didn't plug the controller in. This game mode single-handedly saved the Call of Duty franchise from just disappearing into the early 2000s. So much so that Activision said, we need zombies in every single game, even if it's some goofy-ass, Dollar Tree-ass exo zombies. All my homies hate exo zombies. But not you, Zombies in Space Unknown. Don't look at them, look at me. It's okay. Nobody can get in between what we have, okay? For the 5 people out there that don't know, Call of Duty was just a regular video game franchise about war. Call of Duty. But in 2008, Treyarch was making this little game called World at War. And they thought it would be really funny to put this secret cutscene that would only play directly after beating the campaign. And this is the cutscene that played. Without consent, the player is immediately loaded into the first ever zombies map, Nacht der Untoten, which translates to Night of the Undead. Wah-ha-ha. The player looks around to find themselves in an abandoned bunker in the middle of the forest. Suddenly, dead soldiers start walking towards the bunker with only a few wooden boards to keep them out. So you can see how, to a young kid, this is quite possibly the scariest situation you could be put in. They now have to survive against the zombie horde, using only guns that can be bought off the wall, and from the one, the only, mystery box. For the low price of 950 points, you could take a lucky spin and see what kind of gun you could get. This could range from a decent assault rifle to shit from a butt. But sometimes, if the mystery box gods deemed you lucky, you would get the ray gun. The ray gun. The ray gun was the only thing that could keep you alive in the high rounds, and it was the luckiest item in the box. There's this red blaster that could shoot zombies with these green rays, and it would kill them instantly. And it makes a dope sound. This added a much needed gambling element to the game. I could sit here and explain everything to you, but I have something I want to show you. I'll see you in a sec. Being stuck in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by an unknown amount of zombies, is a pretty scary concept. The entirety of Call of Duty Zombies is based on that concept. You start the game with a pistol and a knife, and it's up to you to survive. The point of the mode wasn't to sell skins or go through a battle pass, it was simply just survival. It had this primitive fear of no matter what you did differently, the outcome was still the same. It was a never-ending cycle. As the game started, the zombies slowly walked up to your bunker. Whoop, whoop. One by one, they would rip down your barricades and try to get to those yummy, yummy brains of yours. Good thing is you can rebuild those barricades. This made the early game of Call of Duty Zombies kind of tower defense-y. You're trying to keep on top of the windows as best as you can, but as soon you'll slip up and they'll get in. And once the zombies break in, the real fun begins. I am back. I am so fucking proud of that scene. That's why this video is taking so long to come out too. I was just doing so many visual effect shots. But that's the vibe that early Zombies gave me. It was scary and it felt like you were trapped inside of a nightmare. Although it had a much more historical fiction route with like the story being set during World War II, I like to imagine the story in like a Walking Dead post-apocalyptic thing with all the game mechanics and stuff. I think it's really cool. But when you die in the game, you lose everything. All your guns, gone. You start the game back with nothing and see if you can survive just a bit longer that time. It started as a simple arcadey kind of round-based mode, but quickly snowballed into the main reason that Call of Duty kept its popularity all these years later. Call of Duty Zombies saved a dying franchise and gave birth to an entirely new community in the process. So today I want to talk about early Call of Duty Zombies, specifically World at War, a little bit of Black Ops 1, because I feel that they had a specific aura to them that has been lost in time. Hopefully this one's not as long as the RA7 video. So obviously this game mode became super duper popular. It was the go-to couch co-op for a long time. When you think of gaming, like true OG gaming, like Mountain Dew, Doritos, like it was like skater shit, like that vibe of early Xbox, the green, like, you know, like the intro to the old Xbox, how that was kind of fucking scary. I think of Call of Duty Zombies with that. There's also a great contrast to multiplayer. After you and your friends had gotten bored of playing multiplayer for the night, you guys would hop on Zombies as a way to relax.
Stay with me here. Zombies.
Funny enough, Call of Duty Zombies can be a pretty relaxing game. It was a PvE mode, so you and your friends are all on the same team trying to survive together. If you and your friends know your shit, it can be pretty chill. The scene you saw earlier was how it feels to play zombies by yourself. That's when it becomes a fucking horror game. I still get creeped out playing a lot of the old Zombies maps. They all feel really liminal, and it really helps it feel more like a horror game than a Call of Duty game. All the maps are places where people should be, but they're not. They're all completely abandoned. And it's not like they're overrun with zombies either. Each map kind of starts with the same gameplay, trying to keep the zombies out for as long as you can. This makes you focus on the map significantly more than a game like a Left 4 Dead or something like that. You're studying all the hallways and rooms, trying to prepare yourself before the horde starts coming in. In the World at War map specifically, there is a good minute before zombies show up, which almost makes it scarier. The anticipation of waiting for them makes the early game really tense. That's the feeling I was trying to capture in that scene. By the way, if you like that, we could do like a full COD Zombie short film. Just let me know, like the video and stuff, and then we will do that, because that would be really cool. So they made a bunch more maps, each shaking up the gameplay and stuff to keep it feeling fresh. The first map they released after Knock was called Verrucht, which translates to Asylum. In this map, God damn it, Fly, get out of here. In this map, they bumped up the scary meter way more than Knocked was, because you guessed it, we're in an insane asylum. The atmosphere is even more horrific, seeing dried bloodstains and medical equipment all over the place. As well as hidden little details, like crouching by this little medical thing, you can hear this drill, like tool, like kind of thing, which is creepy. This map also introduced Perca-Colas. This guy right here. No. Everybody loves Perca-Colas. Even if you don't know what they are, you love them. There's a place in your heart that loves them. You just don't know it yet. These are basically upgrades that come in the form of an old soda. It's very Bioshocky. Each perk has a different ability or like effect on the player, and each perk comes with its very own machine. These things are super cool and designed kind of around the early 1920s like soda machine vibe. Also, they all have a unique song that plays whenever you buy them. So this map introduced the first 4 perks in Call of Duty Zombies, so let's run through them real quick. Let's start with our main homeboy, Juggernog Soda, which would just increase your health by crazy amounts. Basically, took a lot more hits for you to go down from zombies. This was needed if you wanted to survive, unless you were just ballsy as fuck. Double tap Root Beer, which would shoot 2 bullets instead of 1, so basically doubling your damage, but also using twice as much of your ammo. Speed Cola, which would greatly increase your reload speed. That's it. There's not much else it did. And Quick Revive, which like the name says, would help you revive your teammates quicker, which was an absolute game changer for co-op. These perks shook up the gameplay a lot, and it led to the game mode evolving into something more than just a silly little side mode. This map also introduced a ton more stuff like power, traps, and the first little Easter egg song. But the scariest part was if you were playing this in co-op, bitch, you don't spawn together. A big ass metal door separates you and your homeboy and forces you to be alone until you get the power on. Only then will you be reunited. This concept is so fucking cool, and it's a shame they never did anything like this again. I think it's sick that you're literally forced to be good at the game, because if you don't, nobody will be there to revive you. Unless your friend is Jeff Bezos. And then let's get some doors open. The next map, Shinonuma, which translates to Swamp of the Dead, would shake things up even further. This map is way more important than people think. It took place in an old Japanese facility located right in the middle of a big old nasty swamp. It added a bunch of different things, like hellhounds, which would switch out the zombies for these dogs on fire just for 1 round, and if you completed it and killed them all, you get a max ammo. The hellhounds were cool, but the main reason this map is important is because this is where the story really started. Now, before I talk about the story, I need to warn you. The Call of Duty Zombies lore is more convoluted than the FNAF lore. Go let that sink in. But the early COD Zombie storyline is fucking peak.
It was perfect. Perfect. Everything, down to the last minute detail.
It was based in the World War II era and follows 4 different characters surviving the outbreaks on a mission. So very, very quick recap of the story so far. There's this German research group called Group 935. It was formed by this guy called Ludwig Maxis. He made this group after finding this mysterious glowing rock called Element 115. 935? 115. Are you following? Element 115 is not from Earth, so he made that group to study it. Then he invited his boy Edward Richtofen to join. Yes! Yes! Richtofen said yes, but he was secretly working on the behalf of the Illuminati. So long story short, they were messing around with teleportation and figured out that it could bring people back to life as zombies. Richtofen was also experimenting on Ludwig Maxis' daughter, Samantha Maxis. She's important. Richtofen did not like Samantha at all, and he teleported her bitch ass to the moon, where she found the MPD. What's the MPD? The MPD is this big triangle thing that was found on the moon by Richtofen, which if you go inside of it, lets the user control all the dark ether and the zombies. So Samantha goes inside of it and controls the dark ether and makes all the zombies her zombies, and the eyes are yellow. Whew. What is the dark ether, you say? The dark ether is like ultimate energy that is used by these guys called the Apothicon and the Keepers, which were the people that put the MPD on the moon, but also the people that sent Element 115 rock down to Earth. Jesus. You really do not need to know any of that, except Samantha, the little girl, is now controlling the zombies on the moon, and all their eyes are yellow. 3 prisoners were also kidnapped by Group 935. Tank Dempsey, Takeo Masaki, and Nikolai Belinsky. These prisoners were awoken by Richtofen and brought to Shinonuma with him to find his journal. Then they go on this big old quest to kill and find Samantha Maxis. Why are they going to kill Samantha Maxis? Because she's evil and she's controlling all the zombies. The story really starts moving in Black Ops 1, but it all started in World at War. It's very important. The very last map of World at War is Der Riese, which I don't even need to introduce at all. Everybody fucking knows Der Riese. This map is the GOAT. That's why he's the GOAT! This map introduced the Pack-a-Punch machine, We love the Pack-a-Punch machine. This machine allows the player to upgrade their gun significantly for the small price of 5,000 doubloons. It's a fair price. Without it, your gun will eventually become obsolete and you'll die. This was probably the biggest change in the gameplay loop. You could survive way longer with a Pack-a-Punch gun. This, along with the perks, added way more depth to the gameplay. I know I could go on about Dries, but I don't really have anything to say that hasn't been said a million times before. But this is where shit gets crazy. Black Ops 1! Black Ops 1 was released November 9th, 2010, and is dope as fuck. The campaign? Banger. The multiplayer? Banger. But that ain't what we talking about in this video, is it? We here for zombies. And let me tell you, banger! Black Ops 1 dropped with 2 maps at launch. 3 if you're counting Dead Arcade. Kino der Toten, which translates to Theater of the Dead. And 5, which translates to 5. And when I tell you these maps are iconic, holy shit, bro. Kino der Toten takes place in this big-ass abandoned German theater and is probably the most played zombies map of all time. Actually, Transit might have that beat. Transit. The layout of Kino is just unmatched. You spawn in the iconic starting room with both the staircases on either side that everybody dolphin dived down. Don't lie, we all did it. It just wasn't the same with the slide. You can go left or right out of the spawn room, but they both lead to the main stage where the power is. After flipping on power, a door opens up back to spawn, and it all kind of connects with a nice flow of things. Also, the Pack-a-Punch quest on this map is iconic. So each map has its own little quest to get Pack-a-Punch. On Dries, you just had to activate those 3 teleporters and fucking haul ass back to spawn, and that was it. Simple enough. Not simple enough, I guess, because Kino is pressing 2 buttons on your controller. When you get to the stage and you see this big old teleporter, press X on it. Go back to spawn. You see that little teleporter on the ground? What do you think you do? Press X. Once you've done that, you can teleport to the projection room where the Pack-a-Punch is. You can even see your buddies that you left behind getting all fucked up down there. And you're probably thinking, well, that's pretty simple. You just press 2 buttons. Well, you gotta do that every single time you want to Pack-a-Punch. So if you got a lot of buddies, you guys better be coordinated. And let me tell you something else, man. Most of the time, you're not coordinated. Kino holds a really special spot in my heart because that was the first map I ever played. I remember my dad letting me play zombies with him and my brother, and that being like one of the first gaming memories that I have, at least for first-person shooters. I wasn't allowed to play campaign because you shoot real people, but yeah, put them on zombies. And 5 is a whole other can of worms. Besides having the most aura-filled intro cutscene of all time, this map doesn't have a lot of new features, except the Pentagon Thief. That little bastard. This guy actually used to scare the fuck out of me when I was a kid. I just wasn't expecting a grown-ass man to come running at me and steal all my shit. Dude is fast, too. Also, I would say this map is a lot harder than Kino. It's much more close quarters, especially down in, like, the lab area. And I would say it's scarier, too, but that might be just because it's super claustrophobic. I spelled claustrophobic right on the first time when writing the script. I just wanted to share that. It's a shame they never did another map like this. The Pentagon is such a cool location. And you get to play as JFK. Sounds like somebody's breaking in. It's just a storm, Dick. Sit down. But the main reason I wanted to talk about Call of Duty Zombies is this is not how Call of Duty Zombies feels now. And I know there's plenty of videos covering this subject. I don't want to sound like an old man. New Zombies is bad and old Zombies is better. And, ooh, these kids, they only like Warzone. They only like Verdansk. And while, yes, I agree that old Zombies is way better, and that the kids just want to play Verdansk, I actually have some really good memories playing some of the newer Zombies maps. I remember I was playing with an old roommate of mine, the guy that was actually dressed up as the zombie in this video. We were playing one of the Cold War Zombies maps. It was like a big town inside this big facility or something. I'll find it. But that's honestly one of my favorite zombie experiences in recent years because the feeling of exploration, exploring a space, regardless of what game or map it is really special. The feeling of exploration. When a zombies map can make me feel like a little kid and I'm running around exploring a new map, an area, and space, that's when it really connects with me. All my favorite zombies maps feel like places that I actually have been before. Kind of like the Baker House in RE7. Subtle plug, go check that video out. Call of Duty Zombies is a big spot of nostalgia for me, and I would assume a lot of other people. Nostalgia, I feel like, can kind of be a double-edged sword as well. I think it can be tough to separate nostalgia from an actual good thing, if that makes sense. If you have a really important, vivid memory playing a Zombies map, or game in general, it doesn't really matter if the game or the map was good or not. Like, to a certain extent, but a Zombies map is memorable and amazing because I have a good time on it. Not if the map is technically amazing or the story is like fantastic on it. It all comes down to the memories that are made on it. That's why I had the example of the Cold War Zombies map. Like, I obviously very much prefer Black Ops 1 to 3, but I can't rank Cold War that much lower just because I have such good memories with my friends on it. Which the same goes for BO4, which the zombies were pretty hated by everybody when that came out. Now, looking back, it's like fucking Thanos. Perhaps I treated you too harshly. And I'm not trying to act like I loved it since day one. It's definitely not one of my favorites just in terms of zombies. If we're talking my boy Blackout, I mean, shit, that is a whole other can of worms. But seriously, Black Ops 4 is very underrated in my opinion. Not because the game is good. No. Taking away Juggernog was one of the dumbest possible things they could have done. But it seems they were also aware of the damage they did with that, so I won't beat them up too hard. And I won't even mention the HUD. Jesus Christ. I love BO4 because of the memories I have on Blood of the Dead, trying to do that damn Easter egg with my friends. I personally love Blood of the Dead, and I've probably played it more than Mob. Whoa. I have the memory of my friend and I waiting for Alpha Omega to drop because the marketing was so fucking hyped for that map. Which again, I know people hate that map, but that is one of my favorite maps from BO4. The elemental ray guns were awesome. Seeing Ted again was awesome. And the little Marlton, I think it was Marlton, the little Easter egg you have where you can knock on the door and he'll like throw the thing out for you. I never understood the hate. I love Alpha Omega. It's like when Transit came out. People actually loved that map, but it's called trans shit for a reason. But that's a crazy thing. Even though that map is ass, like objectively ass, people were still itching at the possibility of getting a remake or a remaster because they have good memories on it. All this to say that I think the memories you have on a map or a game or life in general are far more important than the game or the map or the time of life in general. Like, most of the times your most prevalent memories aren't something big and grand. Obviously sometimes they are if they're big and important, but for me most of the time it's the small things where it feels like time and life is actually slowed down for a minute, when nothing really matters and you're kind of just present in the moment, whether it's playing a video game or just experiencing life. My memories of Call of Duty Zombies are the things that I cherish, because someday there will be a time where I play zombies for the very last time and I won't even know it, and all I'll have left are the memories that I made. Oh shit. Hey, what's up? I'm still here. Yeah, I gotta show you something real quick. Look at this. Isn't it cool? My mom made it. My mom painted this for me a couple years back, and it has been hung up in my apartment ever since. I love it a lot. It's never gonna come down. Well, like, except for right now. Love you, Mom. But yeah, I think I've kind of gone off course with this video. I don't mean to get super fucking existential every single video, but that's honestly what I wanted to do with these videos. I just want to yap about something that means a lot to me. And maybe film some cool stuff too. Some sort of video is going to come out around Halloween. It's going to be a little spookier. Might be about creepypastas. I'm not sure yet. Also want to make a little horror short film around October, but we'll see if that actually happens or not. Alright, if you don't hear from me for a while, I still love you. Peace.